Hello, how are you? My name is Cristhian Merizalde and welcome to this video. Before starting, I want to share with you my identification card. Okay, now next I will share with you the topic for today. We are going to see some information about the parts of an academic journal according to APA style. Okay, for this I will share with you a real journal from the topic virtual education. So you can see here is the topic, and this is the journal about effects of virtual education and academic culture, perceived advantage and disadvantage. Okay, next, we are going to see what are the parts of this journal, and according to Vivanco 2021, there are some parts that we must see according to the APA style. The first one is the preliminary section. Well, in this section, we are going to see some information about the title of the article. We are going to talk about the author's name, the institution that the authors belong, and also the role that they play in this institution, okay? Now, let's check the example here. We can see that we have indeed the title, that is Effects of Virtual Education on Academic Culture. We have here the authors. The first one is Renee Jefferson and Liz W. Arnold. They are the authors of this journal, okay? And here in the next section, we have two numbers, the number 1 and number 2, and say what is the role in the institution. He is, for example, Jefferson is from School of Education of the Citadel, while Arnold is from Department of Accounting of the Citadel too. Both are from an academic education. Okay, now let's check the second part of this is the abstract. What is the abstract? It's a single paragraph where the author makes a summary about the purpose, the main points, the method, the findings, and what are the focus of the journal, okay? And sometimes also the conclusions and the findings that the authors wants to find with this journal. Okay, the APA style says that this information must be only one single paragraph with a max word of 215 words, 50 words, sorry, with a word type like, I don't know, Times New Roman and a 12 number 2, okay? Now let's check our example here. Indeed, we have the abstract. The abstract in this example is just in one single paragraph, and is talking about what is this journal about. So we can see here that the authors aims to show what are the advantages and disadvantages. They are saying that we'll check the information about the face-to-face online learning environment, and also they will show statistically the results and the differences perceived between the students about the advantage and disadvantage of this study, okay? Now let's, with the second part of these parts of the journals that are the keywords, okay? We have also the keywords, and these words are the words that capture the core of the center of the journal. So we have these keys to understand better what is the work about, okay? In this case, we have the work, in fact, as I said in the beginning, is virtual education. Also is about academic culture, how the students face the virtual education. It's about college and university, and also about the institutional environment. All these keywords are about the culture and virtual education. So we are very focused on what information we want to see in this journal, okay? According to the author, we have the next point, that is introduction. The introduction includes a clear definition of the problem that is studying the researcher, okay? Why it's important to study this problem, what are the objectives to find, the hypothesis, also the research methods that the researcher used to develop this investigation, the desired findings, what they want to find in the field, and also the implications of the study, okay? Now, let's check in our example. In fact, we have here the introduction. If we analyze this information effectively, the author is saying that wants to know what are the virtual technologies, the challenges focused by the culture and also for the students. And additionally, we'll see about how the assessment and the course is developed through the face-to-face learning. And additionally, the authors here are showing some authors additionally where they are referencing their work. This is Churchill, for example. And see the importance, the study is important because it's focused on the perception of students who have no experience on online learning, and maybe they want in this kind of learning an opportunity to learn, okay, to study. And effectively, we have here the information, as the author Ribanco said, is the purpose, is about the academic environment. So we can see in this example that we have another point about the APA style. Okay, the next point is about methods. Yes, inside this, inside the introduction, inside the method, sorry, we have also the hypothesis. In this case, the hypotheses are 4 points. The authors want to check what are the advantages in the context of the online learning, what are the advantages in context of learning face-to-face online too. They want to see what is the advantage perceived in a proportion of certain students, and they want to know what is the perception of advantage in all the students from university based in population sample, okay? Now, let's check the next point, that is method. We have here in the point 3 method 2 in our sample. The method shows details about the research design applied in the paper, giving reliability and validity to the research, okay? Includes samples, population, data collection instruments, data measuring, also the instruments to measure this data, the analysis, the materials and procedures that authors do to analyze, to know what is the information that in this case, the people that is the sample, the students from the university have. So we, in this part of methods, the authors prepare all this information, okay? We have here, in our example, we have the sample. Here the authors are saying how many students will be inside this study. The instrument, he says that is a survey web, and the procedures too. Is based in the course management systems. Additionally, is analyzing the tasks, the homeworks, and also that gives some incentives for students that when they complete the surveys, because survey is one of the main instruments here too. Okay, now we have here the methods. This example is according to APA, as we can see. Okay, also the data analysis, as I mentioned it, where we have some centers for control and probation. They are checking if this kind of learning affects the students. And the next point are the results and discussion. Okay, and Vivanco also says that a journal, according to APA, must have results and discussion. And well, the results and discussion, as his name says, is part of the authors. And also, they shared all the findings, all the information that they found in the study, the data collected, the percentages, information presented, often with numerical values in statistical tables, as we can see here. In the discussion, we can discuss and compare the data, and data is contrasted, okay? Now, in our example of virtual learning and context of cultural systems, we have here the percentages, as I mentioned it. We can see numbers where the students are related or are identified with the virtual learning and say that is positive. So we have here some information as feedback, as flexibility, motivation, relationships, And also here does a comparison and contrasting about advantage and disadvantage of this kind of learning. Here, the authors also describes an example of the categories and shows that table 1 and table 2 show percentages, and the percentages are contrasted. Okay, this data, we can do it to the time we can analyze, but if we see in fast way, we can see that we have, for example, the table 2 with the percentage of feedback, relationship, travel, communication, etc. And also we have here another table, when we are looking for the percentage numbers. So if, with the analysis of this, we can make conclusion that is the next point. So this journal is according to the APA parts, okay? Now let's see. In this case, we are going to see the limitation of the study of author studies. It's, in other words, is that the author says that like conclusion. Well, in the point of conclusion, in this section, the researcher makes some reflections, okay, about the findings. Additionally, the researchers show if the objectives and the aims of the research were achieved. If this is not the case, they can make some suggest of some advices to make a new or future studies, as we can see here in another example. So they put limitations of the study and failure study in future studies. They see that the study has some limitations. They see some problems, for example, that the samples maybe were not correct. They see that what they find, okay, they conclude that, okay, the examinations were okay. And also they show that there were some difficulties and explain that the research was a good reception, okay? So these are conclusions. And also they must that there are more advantages than disadvantages of the virtual learning. So it's possible to conclude that the journal has a positive impact in trying to say that virtual learning affects positively the academic issues of students and also the cultural environment, okay? Fine. And we have the final point that is, okay, let me check the references, okay? We have here also the references point. And the references, well, in this section, the author includes the bibliographic key sources to support and develop the journal. It's very important. And all the names of the author shall be referenced according to APA style, while the title and kind of bibliographic source was used. For example, it may include a book, magazine, maybe a website, maybe a journal paper like this we are having here in this example, and also include the URL or DOI that are the links to the document, because the people who is the reader of this research paper can go to the source of the bibliographic, okay? So we have this in this example. Effectively, the author starts with the second names of the authors that the researcher used. For example, this Churchill, Fortune, Joint, Motherham, Savers, Travis, etc. We have here the dates. We have, for example, 1979. We have here 26, 25. We have here also the titles as APA style says, is the journal. It also shows the numbers and the pages, the volumes, also have DOIs. So in this case, we have here and journal according to APA style. So thank you very much for watching this video. It's a very interesting topic, so the time is limited. So thank you very much for your attention and see you to the next time. Goodbye.